Oh, and who else we got?
Nice.
Bounce.
Oh,
Nice.
people are jumping in all over the place. Everybody's excited about breaking news.
Let me do it again because I started badly and I love it. So here we go.
Okay.
Breaking news coming to you live. Okay.
I don't think that's how the news is supposed to work. I don't think they're supposed to be hyping you up like that.
We're live. That's not how you work. That's not how it works, is it? It's not the
no, that's not how it works. Or that's not how it should work. But
it's not the way you should do it. You should be be very composed. We have an update. I've been just handed this piece of paper.
Hey, we're allowed to geek out about a geeky hobby. It's okay. So
I've just been handed this information.
Just say this just in. This just in.
This just in. Oh, we lose somebody?
There we go.
We gained somebody.
I'm back.
You're back. Okay.
Okay. So who wants to lead it off? We need somebody that has a podcast about challenges or something, or attributes. We don't have an attribute, so we're gonna have to go with maybe challenges. I don't know.
All right. Well, I guess So Groundspeak HQ just announced that a new release to their website and to the mobile app, that attributes have just got a big, huge upgrade. There are now 4 new attributes, and we can now, for premium members, we can now search by attributes as well using the advanced search and in the official app. So that's a big, huge addition for everybody today.
Absolutely.
It was funny. I get feedback from somebody. I'll turn my volume down. Maybe it's me. I'm on my work laptop, but while we discuss the different ones, I'm going to try to figure out. Do you guys remember the last time that we added an attribute?
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know.
That is a good one.
I'm going to do some searching.
You do some searching, and we'll talk about real quick. And we're not going to go in depth tonight. We just wanted to get the news out, and then you can go and search it and do your own research. And because any news that comes out, geocachers have 1,000 questions each, right? So, but anytime they do an update, even though it seems like something small, that's huge to us, isn't it? I mean, every little aspect of the game, somebody is completely obsessed with. I guarantee you, there's somebody that is like an attribute hound that only goes after certain attributes, and that's their whole game. Because this game is so. Oh, we got a ghost in the
electric water boy. You need some light. Where's your light? Anyway,
okay. So let's go through them because we're breaking into everybody's normal routine here. The first one is the bonus cache attribute.
I added it to my bonus cache right away as soon as I learned about it.
Nice.
I did. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't know if it's going to make a difference in too many people's lives right away, but I did it. Hey,
it's smart. Plus, you were to see if it was going to work, right? You're like, see if this is going to work.
Right.
I would like to make fun of you.
What's that?
I said I would like to make fun of you for doing that, but I also immediately added the challenge cache attribute to one of my challenges too, just to test it.
Yeah,
I did it as soon as I saw the news. So
yeah, same. And I've got a couple of power trails. One of them is also a challenge series, so I added both of those attributes to
so you can
like 20, 30 caches. Yeah.
So the chat room, our wonderful chat room, and some geocaching vlogger, somebody says wireless beacon was the last one that was added, and just finding our way says more than 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's been on there for a long time. I can't even remember that coming in. So it's more than 5 years. That's crazy.
I kind of remember that addition.
Right. But it's one of those that's like nobody uses it anymore. Well, I guess some people do, but
you can still use it. Absolutely.
Kind of rare, but these are bigger. So y'all go through the ones.
I suspect these will be used a lot more. The bonus one definitely, because people do bonus caches.
So pick one. We'll talk about it.
All right. Well, bonus cache is pretty simple.
I love
Good.
Go ahead, Emily.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I like the bonus too, because I've been places where I was surprised by the bonus cache connected to the Adventure Lab. But I love the challenge one, because not only then can you search by word, where not every challenge cache, and not every cache with the word challenge in it is a challenge cache. So this attribute, if used, is a certainty.
Yeah, and what will be interesting though is HQ said that they will be running a script to automatically add the attribute to a whole bunch of challenges, both pre and post moratorium. So it'll be interesting to see which challenge caches are caught in this algorithm and how many are accurately added and not.
Yeah. That's the news is so news to me. I didn't know that.
Well, it's brand new breaking news, and it's just now coming out. So that's that challenge cache. I think that, and so far as that and bonus, those will both be used all the time. I think we'll see those tons. Tom.
Yeah, it's so new. Where do you find it? Because I just saw we went live. I didn't even know a thing about this till I got on here. This is cool.
It's a surprise. So it's under the release notes, and we'll put some notes out on it on this too. But it's under the release notes on GCHQ on geocaching.com. And right about now, everything's blowing up. So if you even Google it, geocaching.com attributes, they've already added it to the knowledge book as well.
There's the bonus cache icon.
So if you go to the knowledge book now, they've added this on the official list of attributes. So these are added on there as well. So they were ready for this. They put it in all the places.
Mm-hmm. They rolled out everything simultaneously, which was good. They must have been like just waiting for that timer to click down. Okay, hit go.
Yeah. So the next one, power trail attribute.
Yeah. What's funny is some people are like, I never bother looking at attributes. If I go to for cache, I just go for it. That's interesting.
Hey, everybody uses a different part of the site, right? That's everybody checks different things.
Right.
So
I can see that. I use the attributes for planning ahead. But yeah, if I'm just caching in the moment, I don't care what the attribute is.
Yeah, you just cache around.
It's great for plan.
Lori's asking about the bonus attribute will be automatically added. Did y'all read all the notes on that yet? Or
it doesn't say that it's going to be automatically added on just the release notes.
Okay.
The only thing it does say is if you own a bonus cache, please add the bonus cache attribute to your existing or future hide so that other geocachers can filter for them easily. Since bonus caches are always mystery caches, the attribute is only available for the mystery cache type. And there are questions we know that's going to come up from that one statement. We're probably not going to delve into that today. But
there's interesting several different questions. So I guess obviously this will affect the find all attributes challenge caches, right?
Yes, it will.
Well, and the thing is that with these attributes being automatically added retroactively, then if somebody's got a whole lot of finds, then it probably won't affect those because they'll probably already have caches that are challenge caches and power trail attributes. So wouldn't worry too much about that, except for the brand new features. Except
that somebody is going to rush immediately to how to challenge now to include these four because the previous ones didn't. Somebody's already typing that page up.
They're racing out there now to stick a bison in a tree just to get a challenge cache done.
So power trail attribute, it just basically says you should add that to your power trail. And if you have a power trail before September 30th, you can send in an email to HQ and the information's on the release notes. And they'll a one-time list. They'll add it all for you.
Yeah.
But then it gets into what is a power trail. So that's going to be user defined. It seems like for now.
Sorry, we had a little. I think it was my fault.
Way to go, Gary.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Thanks, Charles. Y'all are ahead of me. I'm trying to get the. I think Jesse's thing is to do this in 5 minutes and be done. So
I just wanted to get the information out.
Break and work I'll see you guys.
I understand.
Breaking news is not 2020. There's a big difference there.
That's true. Can you imagine adding all the power trail attributes for the ET highway?
No.
Manually.
I would rather, if I owned a power trail, I'd rather delete it than add all.
Yeah, we have a few We have a few owners in Ontario that have hundreds and hundreds of Power Trail caches. So they'll be very pleased to have that automatic tool.
Power Trail, apparently by the icon, it's 3.
Yeah, 3 or more.
3 or more. So, hey, if the attribute makes sense. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, I think that's going to really be a user. That one's probably going to be the least useful because
Power
that's going
Trail?
to be easier to find.
Well,
Right.
there's the argument that a lot of people want to filter out power trails when doing a search. Because if you're going to an area and you just want to find caches and you do a search and you come across this like 500 cache power trail, your search is going to take forever because it does small chunks. So filtering out power trail attributes would be a huge benefit. But the search only allows filtering in attributes right now.
So we knew immediately that geocachers were going to have 1,000 questions, right? So Vince already has a good questions. What if you already have 15 attributes? What gets booted?
Yeah. You're going to have to go back and fix all of them.
Yeah, I guess you got to decide. Unless I don't see anything where they added additional slots to it.
I don't know. We should try. Somebody try.
It's like when you're flying on the airlines with 2 kids, and they tell you when the mask drop, pick which one you want to. Who's going to help your retirement? It's going to be the same with these attributes.
Yeah, that question has been asked in the forum, so I'm sure it'll be addressed at some point, but it's still outstanding, it looks.
So the reason why I'm trying to get through these, because I know we don't want to be on here all night, but there's more than just the 4 attributes, right? They made some other changes as well.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just messing with you.
Gary's trying to slow my roll, and you can't do that. I get excited when they change the stuff.
I'm throwing off your groove.
I know. So the last one I think it's interesting, but it's going to be automatic, right? Is that right?
We've done 2 so far.
Well, we've challenge checker, power trails, and bonus cache.
Oh, we already did challenge. Okay, there's challenge checker.
We hadn't really talked about it. I'm just mentioning what they are, and then we can have any discussion going on it. But the fourth one then is the geocaching.com solution checker attribute.
Yeah.
Who wants to tackle that one?
I'll read it and then somebody talk about it.
I'm not sure why now, but
it says if you own a mystery cache and have added the geocaching.com solution checker to your cache page, your cache page will now also show the geocaching.com solution checker attribute. Within the next few days, HQ will run a script to add the geocaching.com solution checker attribute to all published caches that have the solution checker selected. If you wish to add this attribute to your cache page earlier, then they give you directions.
So
Pathfinder's got a question already.
No, I got an answer to the question. So my Colorado County Challenge cache had 15 attributes already on it. I just went and edited it. It now has 16.
It took it.
So maybe they're bumping it up to 20 or something.
It looks like I have 2 more slots that I could pick if I wanted to, but I just went in and added the challenge checker or the challenge cache attribute to it. It now has 16 attributes on it. So there's the answer to the question. None of them have to get booted.
Yeah.
Sweet. Go ahead. The other ones just for fun.
So for that, the checker attribute, it looks like it's just entirely scripted. So
hey, they stole our icon. Sorry.
Hey, that is so it looks like they've already set up the script so that if you add the checker to your listing, it'll automatically add the attribute. But for existing caches, they have to run a script to do that manually. So, or not manually, automatically. So that'll happen in a few days. But if you want it now, you'll have to edit it, remove the checker, and then add it so that the attribute gets added.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I've got a question. The obvious question for me here is why? On this last one, like, wouldn't it make more sense just to say that all mysteries need to have a solution checker?
Not necessarily. I think I can understand why some puzzle owners. Well, a mystery isn't always a puzzle for one thing, but not all puzzle owners necessarily want to have a coordinate checker that will automatically update coordinates on theirs because they also use other checkers as well. And if they say their puzzle only has one solution, then and it's maybe not a coordinate, but you've got to use the certitude checker to get the coordinates, then it'd be kind of an extra step to have to bring those coordinates from that certitude checker over to the listing checker and then update the coordinate. Like, it just seems kind of complicated. I think having that optional checker was already decided long ago. So,
which is that's a good question right here, is why add the attribute if there's only one option? I mean, just finding our way saying solution checker attribute doesn't make sense to me unless you can include other checkers.
Yeah. Well, part of that is, and we found this when we were doing our statewide Colorado Zoom calls, is that there were a lot of puzzle caches that the owners were no longer active, or there were parts of the puzzles that had fallen off, and so you couldn't actually get a solution. So you would figure that some of these, if they go in and put that there's a solution, the Groundspeak solution checker, you would assume at some level that it's going to be solvable. It's not one of those unsolvable puzzles somewhere. I don't know. Maybe.
No.
What's interesting?
So okay, here my head's gonna explode. I agree with you, except if the owner's no longer in the game, that is not a legitimate cache anymore.
Agree, 100%.
True.
Yeah. Okay. Just okay.
100% agree.
That needs to move on, and it seems like to me, the solution checker should be required for all puzzles. Just initial thoughts, right? Because that's the only thing. Even certitude, any of that other stuff. That's the only thing that automatically updates the coordinates. I don't know how everybody caches, but that's how I cache. Once I solve the puzzle, then it's updated in my apps and it pushes it out everywhere. And that's designed. It seems weird to plan an attribute around third-party solution checkers.
Yeah, only problem is we don't have something that defines what is a puzzle and not a puzzle. It's just a mystery.
How about mystery caches that aren't challenges?
So challenge attribute and everything else has a checker attribute.
I'm just saying. There you go.
I don't understand why we didn't add a gadget cache icon, or why didn't we add
this could open the door for a whole lot of other suggestions and debates in the forums.
Yeah.
Interestingly, this is the one attribute that I don't
always debate around mysteries, but these are all good attributes, first of all. Very useful attributes.
Yeah. And interestingly, this is the one attribute that I don't recall ever seeing discussed or suggested in the forum. I could have easily missed it, but usually there's so much discussion about pretty much any kind of attribute idea, and I never seen this one before.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, this is just the first 4 too. They could be saying, but wait, there's more.
They might.
Could pull an apple.
I don't think they said, though. I like Yossi. He's like, hey, where are the negative variants of these? They're not out there. So
it's negative, so it's not a challenge. Is that what you're going to do? Not a challenge.
Well, and there's 2 things to that. There's include or don't include, and then there's positive and negative attributes. I don't think there's negatives of these attributes, but
probably there
not
isn't.
Include the positives. Isn't
Yeah. So they did actually say but more on this one, though. So if you read down in the release notes, they said they took this opportunity to update the availability of existing attributes for cache types and to update the attribute names for existing attributes to be more consistent. They did not make any significant changes to the meaning of the attribute, but they did change several things. Mm-hmm. So all event cache types now have consistent attribute availability, including mega and giga events. It doesn't say in this what that is, but I know some things were not available before. So
and that also implies that the bonus cache attribute would be consistently available for all types, not just mysteries.
No.
Sorry, no. Yeah, I forgot. I misread that. It's not all event cache types. Yes.
Yeah. So like you couldn't use like the opposite of that though, right? You couldn't use bonus cache for event types because that wouldn't apply.
Right.
So they wouldn't allow that. So many of the things wouldn't apply for events.
Yeah.
Field puzzle attribute can now be added to letterbox hybrids and where I go caches. I like that.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The food nearby attribute can now be added to where I go caches.
Why did they add that?
Wait a minute.
You could do where it goes all day and never get hungry. So why'd they have to do that?
Wait a minute. I can't wrap my head around this. So if you have a where I go, you couldn't add food nearby before?
Sadly, I did not know that.
From the sound of it.
Of all people, you should have known that, Jesse.
Well, I don't know that I've really added food nearby attributes. I've never found that very useful on the caches. Other people, I don't know that I've ever added that, to be honest.
I don't know, but I know what Jesse's going to do tonight. He's going to make a new where I go that has food nearby.
That's right. I'm making a new challenge tonight. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm making a new attribute challenge.
C3, where I go for food?
You have to do 5 where it goes with food nearby.
Right.
It's Power Trail. Wait, add the power.
Do the Power Trail. It's 10. You make 10 of them.
But some of this is coming about because of the availability of how many people are putting out bonus caches with their adventure labs.
Yeah.
Right. And so now there's this mystery that pops up on the, a mystery cache that pops up on the map that people, in order for you to get the final coordinates for that, you need to know that you have to go do a adventure lab or
another series of caches. Yeah.
Right. Another series of caches, like the, the 50 state star, every state has a star in it somewhere. And usually they're all 50 caches. And then the last cache is a bonus cache for 51, whatever.
See, and there's 2 ways you could look at that. Because one, if you you know that you can filter them, well, ideally you could filter them out as a cache you can't find, because if you don't have the prerequisites, you don't know where the cache is. And 2, you could filter it in if you're looking for caches that you've got to do a whole bunch of other stuff first. Like if you want to clear out an area, then you know that to get this cache, you've got to do a number of other things as well. Right. So it's you're looking for a larger task.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, I'll share that real quick. Here is what the new filter looks like, if it'll show. There we go. So when you filter for a search on a geocache now, they've added the attributes. So that wasn't on there before, but now you can select attributes and search that way.
Oh, search for challenge caches.
Okay. Here we go. Change filters. Let's go challenge.
How many have already had the attribute added?
Oh, wait. Where's challenge on there? Do you see it?
Yeah, they're all in different positions. I've noticed, even adding to some of my caches, that little list, it's in like different spots. I don't know how they're sorting them in these different lists.
Oh, they look different too. That's
bonus. They all have the stairway with the question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it is. There it is. Okay. Search. See which one has that attribute on. There's already 703 of them with that attribute.
Worldwide?
Nice.
I'm sure by tomorrow there'll be 80,000 of them, but hey, look, there you go. That's me. That's the one I already switched over.
Yeah, and
I've got 13 on that list.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. They released this one well. They released all the stuff at the same time.
So you notice they changed several of these. I mean, that's what you were talking about a minute ago.
Yeah.
So now you've got camping available is now camping nearby.
I mean,
I don't see the point, I guess.
Well, like say you're on a trail near a campsite. The trail isn't camping, and you can't camp on the trail, but there is camping nearby. Okay. Like it just seems clearer, right? Like
so instead of saying like you can camp right there on the spot, there is a campsite nearby. They're not saying that cache is at a campsite.
Oh, that does make sense now. Right. Okay, I follow you.
Same thing with watch for livestock nearby.
Watch for livestock.
and all these required attributes are now may require, which is also good.
Snowshoes required. May require.
So even if you go find it during the summertime, you have to have your snowshoes.
Snowshoes required. may require snowshoes.
So they're just cleaning up the language on that, but it sounds like they're going to do some more. To me, this sounds like they're rolling out a few things that are really good, but there may be some more things they're investigating.
Yeah, they've got some stuff in the works somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They also changed. So yeah, cross country skis required is now may require cross country skis. Wireless beacon required is now wireless receiver required.
Because that could be Wi-Fi signal. It could be anything. I think some people even use QR code reader as a wireless beacon.
Oh, really?
I've seen that attribute on there. It's like if you just need something else that I don't know.
This one's kind of interesting. Front yard in parentheses private residence is now yard private residence. I mean, I guess
it could be side or back, right?
Could be back, yeah. Okay, I'm okay with it. And then the last one is interesting of why they changed this, but teamwork required. Let me bring it up so we can see it as well as discuss it since we have audio people as well. Teamwork required is now teamwork cache. I don't know.
Again, it's the required thing, right? Some people may be able to solve this all by themselves. You know, there's no confusion about if you don't have a team, you can't do it. So
it might be taking away that ability for a cache owner to appeal a find. If they've got the attribute on there saying teamwork required and somebody didn't use teamwork, they can't fight it now because, well, you can't require that.
I think these are all useful updates.
No.
Is there an attribute for high terrain Sodak Zach required?
Why is he here? Why aren't you here?
So looking at what's changed in my area, you know, I'm basically San Antonio. Nothing has changed here yet, but 60 miles to the north of me is Austin, and it looks like changes have taken place there. So it's going to take some time to go through and get it all done. I don't know how it's picking the order of getting it done, but
right.
This is cool.
You know what? I think it's good when they do an update like this because this is probably not going to raise that much controversy, right? So it's smart for the first attribute update you've done in a long time to put out something that's good and helpful for everybody because you might be throwing something around the corner that people are going to argue with, but you already tested the process. So that's probably how I would have done it first too. So
Vince says he checked with Nick Cashley. And he says he's going to be including those in 6.1, so that's great.
Good. So they got rolling out to the API.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, what's the best one of these?
Ooh, good question.
I'm torn between Challenge and Power Trail.
Yeah.
Both of those are going to be highly useful.
Yeah. I like the Challenge one.
I think I like the Challenge one best.
You know, although it could be argued that challenge is required in all the new ones, but in the old ones, if they can put this attribute on ones that were not quite, that don't meet the new requirements, then that'll be helpful for people.
Yeah, and I think some of this I'm with Jeff here. I think the Power Trail one is going to be useful because for all of the caches on the ET trail, they all use the scuba required attribute. And that was how they filtered them out from the rest of them. All of the Power Trail in Nevada for the ET highway has scuba gear required. Even though you know darn well in the middle of the Nevada desert, you don't need scuba gear.
Right. But
this takes a lot of some of that stuff away from a cache owner who wants to try and make theirs findable and unique in an area where it may not. So they may have a push to have all of the scuba attributes removed off of those in lieu of, we got you your own Power Trail icon for you to use now.
No, I like that. I mean, it made sense that they did that. I mean, they had to do something. They tried to,
So, yeah, for that instance, it does make a lot of sense. I don't know if I would use that to search as much, although I might, right? You might use that to search. Might be a good way to find a new power trail. It's interesting to me. Well, obviously, people are jumping on board, right? So this has been out. This is pretty new information.
Yeah.
And they haven't run any automatic things that I know of yet. They said that for the power trails, 360 people have already added the attributes to their caches for power trails.
That's awesome.
So people are jumping on this.
Trail.
Yeah, that's one power trail.
That's one power trail.
It's actually looks like that's more than one, but it's a couple of long ones. That's pretty cool, though.
My 10 cache challenge series.
Power trail is not limited by cache type, except Earth cache and virtual. But there's not going to be those power trails, so every other cache type is available there.
Yeah. What do y'all think of this? Somebody made a comment about the field puzzle attribute can now be added to letterbox. We talked about this, but I mean, is there ever a time when have you guys ever found a letterbox when you were like, oh, it's like a gadget cache letterbox hybrid? I mean, that'd be cool.
Right near me, yes.
Yeah. So they could add the field puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't, but what I have found is a letterbox hybrid that took you to the starting point and then did the old school letterbox hybrid that said so many paces at this degrees, you'll get to this, then so many steps or paces at this degree, and walk you through there. And so I would consider that a field puzzle because you can't do it unless you're there.
Yeah, I think that'd be great to use now because
that seems. See, I'd call that more like following instructions than trying to solve a puzzle, right?
But at least you kind of know ahead of time that you're like, oh, why is this attribute on this letterbox? Maybe there's a reason. I mean, I'm just saying
you got to do something there that you don't know.
Yeah,
before.
Right. It's not just like one direction. I see what you're saying. Yeah. What I was thinking of, that would make sense too, because you have to do something in the field. What I was thinking of is the one like I found where it starts off like a letterbox, you have some directions to follow, but it ended up with a gadget cache at the end that you had to solve a puzzle to get into.
Right.
This would be a puzzle, which would make sense in just about anything, but why did they eliminate multi-caches from this?
From
field puzzle?
Oh,
they just added it. They were already before, so they added it to it. It was already available for multi-cache. Okay. Yeah. I thought I was reading that as they eliminated it from. Like you can't do it on a multi-cache now.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. So now you can add it on all. You can do it on pretty much any of them now.
If you're caching with your kids, search for there's filter by attributes helps you find. Okay, I'm sorry.
I think that's overall I would say positive upgrade. All these things are useful. You can always find ways. Any kind of. There's 3 million caches out there. There will be an exception to these, right? And there's 2 million cachers or whatever out there. So there'll be exceptions to all these things, but I think in general, this is a very good update, and it's interesting to see that they're doing that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've had a little downtime.
Yeah.
Here recently.
This is remote work. That's what they're doing.
That's right.
So we've now got already so far 360 power trail caches, 709 challenge caches,
wow,
238 checker enabled caches, so those have already been added, and 306 bonus caches worldwide. So we've got the most challenge caches so far.
Nice. Now, and that sounds like that's people adding it to their own. But that's probably out, right?
I've added it to mine since this show started. So
yeah, I think the only automatic one would be the checker attribute, but it's not on a constant increase. It's just static. Maybe they're doing it in chunks. I don't know.
So people are constantly adding these because the power trail just went up to 362. So people are adding them as we speak. Okay. Well, positive. I would say
wrapping up.
Any other thoughts besides that?
Do you think they really will remove an attribute GeoCache HQ may remove the attribute from cache listings where it has been incorrectly added.
Yep.
Now, that's interesting. That's a whole can of worms right there.
That's
Oh.
If this is going to be an attribute that people can add and remove at their will, then who's going to consistently manage or police these caches with the attribute to make sure it's correct and not incorrect?
No,
I think go ahead. I was gonna say maybe on new caches is the only time.
maybe when they're published, but people change these nonstop. They're not locking these.
No.
And keep in mind that there's no way that HQ could monitor and police attributes on 3 million caches.
Yep.
Because you can change them every day you want to.
Somebody wants a power trail of 1. No, you cannot do that.
I'm guessing it'll come down to appeals, and it's going to be like, well, if it's not a significant issue, then just deal with it yourself. But if it's a major thing, like there's some kind of deception going on, then they'll deal with it. But yeah, like power trails of 1, HQ is not going to say no, you can't put a power trail on 1.
What about that other super rare one? Was it teamwork or partnership? Partnership.
You can't put that on there anyway.
Yeah.
That's the official one. You can't do that. So
Sean mentioned about GeoArt attribute. What do you guys
many
think?
people have talked about that.
Yeah.
Paul's asking about will they remove scuba attributes from landlocked caches? We don't know, but
no mention of that.
Why would they take the time to do that?
And what if they get it
no
wrong?
way that they would.
That's an example of leaving so many attributes up to the cache owner judgment. Whatever.
plenty of mysteries using the attribute IDs for this. They do. You're right. Oh, that's a good question. You guys will be proud of me because I almost never do it, but I actually solved a puzzle, made a note.
That's what the ground shaking was earlier.
I know it
today.
was. But it was an attribute one. So because they're numbered. So the numbers are now, the numbers change or they added to the end of it now. I mean, I don't know. But I solved it because it was an attribute one. And I had to go find the listing of attributes with the numbers next to them and then solve it. So,
and if I knew a guy that knew a bunch about puzzles, he would probably tell you that's what happens when you make puzzles based on things that change.
Yep.
Yeah.
You talking to that guy?
That's why it's good to be backwards compatible. Otherwise, your puzzle break.
Right.
And the minute you make a puzzle based off of Wikipedia, and edits it.
Yes.
And that is the first step I do. If I see a puzzle based on Wikipedia, I just go edit Wikipedia. It invalidates it and nobody can find it.
Dang you.
I know of one on Wikipedia that depended on being wrong.
Seriously?
Yeah, because he wrote something wrong and then it got changed back. But you can go back in history and find the changes. So his has got the coordinates in one of the older wiki pages, but I hope that never becomes a big deal because that was a pain in the butt.
Very cool.
Cool. I like it. We'll obviously discuss more as we go along. Wow, we've got some great comments coming in.
Yeah.
This long thing. Not sure what he was thinking there.
I think we'll just delete that one. How about that?
Yeah, let's delete it. What do you say?
I'm great that he cured his STD, but this is not really the show for that. So.
Yeah. C3. Time for a Where I Go on Restaurant Row. That's right. Go. You can do it now.
Always time for a new Where I Go. So. Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
I'm going to